To begin your graffiti art, you are going to open up your drive. So I clicked on my waffle, looked for that triangle drive. We're going to go over to that plus sign new. We're going to go down to more and click on Google Drawings. The first thing we're going to want to do when we open a new document is put our name in the top corner. So I'm going to write my name. And I'm also going to write street art or graffiti art or G art so I can find this in my drive later. From here, we're going to start by inserting a word art. So you are thinking of a name, your first name, your last name, a nickname, your initials, and you are going to type one letter of that name and click enter on your keyboard. So that letter comes up, and the reason we're using word art is we can change the way it looks, we can change the size, and we can do a lot of fun things with color. So you can change the font. So you saw me clicking at the top. A graffiti artist is going to use something that's kind of bold and dark, not something you would maybe type a story in on the computer. So I am going to pick a font. That one is something I like. I want to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to click from the corner of that box to make it bigger. If I click from the sides or the top, I'm going to distort it. I'm going to stretch it and make it look not the same. So if I do something and I don't like it, I'm going to go up to the top and click undo that back arrow. I kind of like the size of that. I'm going to change the color. So if I go up to the paint bucket that says fill color at the top, I can pick a different color. I could also click gradient instead of just a solid color. I could give it more of a spray painted look like graffiti art. In that gradient area, there's a plus sign to customize your own color. So you might like that choice. If I click the starting box, I can find a color, and then I can click the ending box and change that ending color. If you notice, this is kind of a radial, a circular spray painted look or gradient look. You can change that into a linear, more of a line where it goes light to dark. All right, graffiti art oftentimes has a thick border color. So if I go to border weight, that's going to be the thickness of the outline. 8 is a kind of a nice number to pick. From here, you can repeat those steps. You could do insert, word art, and you could type your next letter, hit enter, and you can change all those things. A graffiti artist might not even have the same font. You could have a different looking font. It does not have to be the same. But I am going to show you a little bit of a faster way to go about getting all your letters on. I pressed backspace to get rid of that letter. I am going to select, that means I'm going to click this first letter so that the box is around it. I can do an edit, copy that letter, and then edit, paste that letter to get another one. Now some of you might be thinking, oh, why would you want to just have a whole bunch of the same letter? Well, if I double click this, I can change the letter and spell out a word quickly. So if I go up to edit, paste, the computer's going to remember that I was pasting that C. Edit, paste, another C. Edit, paste, depending on how many letters you have in your name. Let's see, do I have enough? Double click, change the letter, double click, change the letter. I need one more. Paste one more letter and I'll have my last name. Double click, last letter. All right, I've got a good start, but this is stretching too big. It's off my paper. I'm going to click and drag a box around all those letters, and that way I can make them smaller all at the same time. You can click letter by letter and kind of use your arrow keys or use your mouse pad to shift those letters. All right, graffiti artists spray painting often have a shadow. So I'm going to select all these letters. I am going to do an edit and a copy. And I'm going to paste all those, which looks a little weird to begin with, right? So those letters are still all selected. They have a blue box around them. Before I click off of them, I am going to fill them with black. So I'm going to go back to solid black. Oh, that still does not look right. I'm going to do an arrange and order. And I'm going to send all those letters backwards. That gives it a pretty cool shadow. All right, there's two more things I'm going to show you before we are finished. And this is going to help it look more like graffiti art. I'm going to add a shape behind my letters. If you go to the callouts, these kind of starbursty shapes are kind of neat to add. Oh no, it covered up my letters. No biggie. Arrange, order, send it to the back. I still have that shape selected. I could change the color of it. I could make it a gradient. I could put a thick outline on it. I'm liking the way that looks. But I want it to look like it's actually spray painted on a wall or something. So I'm actually going to insert a picture, insert an image from the web. Over here, I can search for something like brick wall or stone wall or a building. If I scroll down and find a wall I like, I checked it and I'm going to insert it. That one is not working. I'm going to just backspace. That deletes it. If that happens to you, I would just find another image. Search the web. My brick wall choices are still there. Let's see if this one works. Check. Insert. That one did work. And that one actually was a nice size. Some of the pictures, when you insert them, are going to be tiny, and that's okay. You can just drag from one of the corners to stretch it to your paper size. And then there's one last step. It covered up my whole picture. So I need to do an arrange and order. Ascend that brick wall to the back. And there's my graffiti art. The last thing I'm going to do when I'm finished is I'm going to share. And this is where you're going to type your teacher's name to share so that they can print it or put it on Artsonia for you or share with the class. That is Graffiti Digital Art.